Today I'm going to be heading down to A camp and got a new sleigh here, just came in. So I'm going to do a little unboxing and assembly video for this new sleigh. And also I'm going to modify the heavy duty snowmobile hitch on the back of my snowmobile. I'm going to cut off this bottom tab. It's constantly bending and breaking pins, causing me problems. So that's what I'm going to be up to here in this video. Pinned up, and you can see how this is constantly a problem. It either bends the pin or breaks the pin, or it's just a problem. So maybe I'm using it wrong. Anyone's comment and advice would be great. Well, things are pretty moved around in here right now because I moved my mobile double bunk here from the back and used my rear doors because I brought my snowmobile in here. It had iced over and would not start, so I brought it in here, got a nice fire going. 20 minutes later, all thawed out, started up no problem. So I'm gonna put things back together here a little bit, get a fire going. Well, you can hear that. We're rocking and rolling now. Got things put back to relatively normal now. Put all the bunks back. Cleaned up some of the tools. Cleared off the counter. Got my little coal oil lamp going. I love these things, especially if you put scented oil in them. All right, let's unpack, assemble, and have a look at this Trek Sport 82 sleigh. Comes with a cover, comes with a hitch, almost 7 feet long. You get a lot for the price. Took the plastic off. Comes in a pretty tidy little box here. Drawbar and cover, as I said. Notice the instructions here on the side. Also, I had forgotten to mention that the sliders come with it already assembled. Alright, got the lid off of this. Brackets for the pulling arms, hardware, cover. instructions with a template for dividers if you want, which I'm not going to bother with. They're just going to be in my way 9 out of 10 times. And this is super sticky. Woo! This is going to have to wear off like pine gum on your fingers, because that's not coming off. That actually took a bit of time. Everything is zip tied together, then wrapped in the protective wrap and taped. So it took a while to get it apart. Instructions, hardware, nice reusable bag if you can figure out what to use it for. And safety warning, you know, never put anybody in the sleigh. What northern Canadian kid doesn't have great memories of being towed behind a snowmobile? I know I do. I gave the instructions a quick once over. I've learned the hard way that that's just faster. And it looks like all the hardware's here. So let's continue. Okay, step 1 done. So far, so good. I even made sure I had the stickers spacing up. So step 2, they want you to drill out the holes on the side of the sleigh for the mounting brackets, if they're not already there. So nice to see that they're all ready here. Much less problematic. Well, you can see on the left side that these alignment marks for if you were to drill the holes, you can see exactly where they are. And this sleigh came with pre-drilled holes, which I thought was great, but you can clearly see they've missed the alignment holes, the landmark holes, which would be centered in your bracket. So one of them's a little bit tight here, but I think it's going to be okay. So I imagine it's not perfectly square. Okay, all of step 2 is done. And we'll see how things line up here with this side not being been drilled exactly on the landmark dimples. Alright, I'm almost done the last step here. So you can see it's tight on this side. I've got everything snugged up, not absolutely tight. So you can see the gap that will have to be pulled in when I draw everything tight. So it's a bit, not much, but I am curious to see how exactly centered this hitch will be. Okay, I've got everything snugged up here, and it basically just flexed out the side of the sleigh to take up that gap I was showing you. Everything's together, everything's tightened right up, and cover fits nice and tight in the $300 range, and it came with everything one shot, so it was likely to all fit well and work well as a system. You didn't have to chase down a cover separately or etc. This is a bit wide with the way it's attached to the sleigh on the sides, but it is pretty handy to be able to fold it over like this. I often wish my other sleigh could do that. And as well as having one larger sleigh, it avoids our pulling the train system, aka a sleigh behind a sleigh. And when we went to that lake we usually go to with our wall tent and the platform, that's an extremely narrow trail. Like some places your skis just barely fit. The ski widths of the width of your ski on the snowmobile just barely fits. And it wasn't a problem. This was clearing everything. At the beginning I was really concerned, but it never once hooked on anything. If the skis or the snowmobile went by, this went by. So excellent. Also, I've used the center line of where all the plywood went together on the floor to line up the very front of the sleigh. So it's really close to dead center. And then line up the back of the sleigh, really close to dead center. And the hitch is fine. It's pretty much dead center and pulling straight. So that's really all I was worried about. So maybe the holes are in the best place possible. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to pull. Another Thing about this sleigh, a nice little touch, is they have reflectors on the back. One of which is already somewhat starting to peel off, but might save the day one of these times. You never know. This is the OEM heavy duty tow bar and heavy duty hitch. And it comes with a special pin, heavy duty pin, that's anchored by a little chain right here to this hole. And the pin goes through all three brackets. 1, 2, 3. And the pin's supposed to hold this tight so when you're riding it doesn't flap around. Which is all fine and dandy, but as soon as you hook the sleigh up, this bracket back here causes all sorts of problems. I've bent and broken countless pins. So I'm cutting this bracket off here today, fixing that once and for all. Okay, so got that bracket cut off and everything all cleaned up nice, no burrs. Got the new sleigh out here. Gonna hook up the sleigh. So before, when this little bracket was still here, about so, I had no choice but to assemble it like this, with the sleigh bracket over top of the hitch bracket. And you can see it puts things on quite an angle, and the pin used to interfere with this tab all the time and either bend or break the pin. But now I've noticed I've got the option to put the hitch brackets on top of the sleigh brackets, and it seems to sit much more happily. So already things are improving, and I'm gonna make, once I find some material, a nice robust thick hitch pin, something like this, with a really robust keeper pin. That ought to do the trick right there. So we're getting there. So there's my old otter sleigh inside my new Pelican sleigh. Gives you good scale. Here's the broken hitch from one of our adventures. I'm gonna have to upgrade that. Possibly put a hitch on the back of this new Pelican red one here. We'll see. All right, that's it. Time to go. Once I got home, I started looking at things and thought just maybe the sleigh brackets would fit over top of the snowmobile hitch brackets. And they do. It's perfect fit. And that to me looks like winning. So this will be how I hook it up from now on. Major improvement. My old sleigh, there was no way it would attach like this. The opening between wasn't big enough. So, perfect. All right, this is it. Take care.